When I first played The Darkness on Xbox 360, I was immediately struck by its dark, gritty atmosphere. The game's setting oozes with a grim, supernatural vibe, creating an immersive world that felt both menacing and intriguing. I loved how the game balanced the mobster underworld with the horrifying powers of the darkness, and it's this atmosphere that kept me hooked from start to finish. One of the things that stood out to me immediately was how impactful the guns felt and how you could combine different kind of pistols. Every time I pulled the trigger, I could feel the weight and power behind each shot. The sound design for the firearms was particularly well done, adding to the realism and making combat feel satisfying. The guns have a great sense of punch, and paired with the powers of the darkness, I felt like an unstoppable force, at least when things were working properly. The darkness powers themselves are a real highlight of the gameplay. Whether it was using Whip Tentacle or Black Hole to take down enemies, or using the creepy Darklings for assistance, these abilities added a unique twist to the typical first-person shooter formula. They made combat more dynamic and opened up plenty of options for how to deal with enemies, making me feel like I was wielding something truly otherworldly. However, not everything in the gameplay clicked perfectly for me. The controls feel clunky at times, especially when it came to aiming. Even with auto-aim that the game has, I found myself frustrated with how often I missed shots or struggled to lock onto enemies. It wasn't game-breaking, but the awkward aiming mechanics definitely took some getting used to, and even then, it felt like a constant battle to maintain accuracy during intense firefights. The clunkiness of the gameplay occasionally pulled me out of the otherwise immersive experience, and it's probably one of the game's most glaring flaws. What the darkness lacks in tight controls, though, it more than makes up for in storytelling. The story is hands down one of the best parts of the game. It's intense, emotional, and full of gripping moments that really pulled me in. Without spoiling too much, there are some deeply emotional scenes involving Jackie and his girlfriend Jenny that genuinely struck like a hammer. The narrative does a fantastic job of making you care about the characters, and Jackie's inner conflict with the malevolent darkness power adds a layer of depth to the whole experience. Visually, the game holds up well for its time. While it may not be as polished as more modern titles, the art direction captures the grim tone perfectly. The environments are suitably dark and oppressive, creating a sense of unease, more for your enemies, as you wander through dimly lit streets and then break lights for even more darkness. The enemy designs are mostly just hitmans of the mafia, but there are some supernatural enemies too. But overall, shooting similar humanoids whole game. The audio elevates the experience. From the haunting ambient sounds to the voice acting, everything fits the tone of the game perfectly. Jackie's voice actor does a fantastic job, especially during the more emotional or intense scenes, and the darkness itself has a chilling, sinister voice that perfectly complements the growing dread you feel as its power grows. Overall, despite its frustrating gameplay mechanics, The Darkness is a game that left a lasting impression on me. The atmosphere, story, and powerful abilities make it a unique experience. The clunky controls and occasionally terrible aiming system can be annoying, but they don't overshadow the gripping narrative and excellent world building. If you're looking for a shooter with a dark, engrossing story and a fresh take on combat, I'd say The Darkness is absolutely worth playing, flaws and all.